I understand that, I have heard this argument where, we are the only mammals who drink milk from the other species. And the second thing is you technically don't need milk. But other argument to that is, number one, calcium. Number two, it's a good source of protein. 1 cup of milk is like 8 to 9 grams of protein. Is the benefit is outweighing the risk, or your argument would be that there are other sources of calcium and protein?
I think there are the other sources of calcium and protein which I'm probably better off. And you can take it. It's not like it's unavailable, right? You have shundal, chana. It's a very good source of calcium. And it is part of our diet. It's not that we don't eat it. So it's not something which you have to get separately to eat. That's as much a part of our diet as milk is. And so it would make sense to go to other sources of calcium. And milk also has fat. So I think between, and no fiber. So I'd rather have the chana, which has fiber, which has protein and complex carbohydrates, than have milk.
Is there any evidence that milk is truly pro-inflammatory? Or it is just like a context or a correlation that, when milk is there is possible inflammation risk. So why can't there is...
Again, like I said, since I talked about the omega-3, omega-6, so maybe there is something in that there is some inflammatory action which might be there in the milk. So, but again, I'm not too sure about whether we have clear-cut evidence that milk is definitely pro-inflammatory and is not good to have. Because I think in certain disease conditions, dairy is protective.
Yes.
But I think they're talking about yogurt or curd and may not be milk as such.
Right. So let me summarize what we discussed. Okay. So a person listening to this podcast, I think by this time they'll be confused in terms of whether milk is okay or not. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you statements, whether you say agree, yes or no. Okay. So first statement is, if you can take calcium and protein through other sources, you can avoid milk.
Yes.
Okay. Number 2 is, since there is a possible evidence of a pro-inflammatory condition because of omega-6 fatty acids, it is good to avoid milk completely if possible.
Yes.
Okay. Number 3, but let's say that you love your morning filter coffee and your chai. Is it okay to use minimally without any other added ultra-processed foods in the day?
Sugar or anything, yeah. Just minimally you can.
Okay. Is ghee also a no-no?
I would say no. Again, there is a personal bias. I've never liked ghee. So I do have a huge patient population which have to have ghee. So I tell them, don't have more than 1 teaspoon for the entire day. Okay.
Why is that? Why is that?
Again, a question of them feeling happy or satisfied about having ghee. So it does have a lot of saturated fat. And you definitely know that saturated fat increases the risk of heart disease, increases the risk of diabetes. And when you already have all of that, it would be sensible not to have ghee. And also the number of calories you are getting, double the amount of your carbohydrates, right? Because if you have ghee, it's going to really increase your calorie content.
1 gram of carbs is 4 calories.
4 calories.
1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So more than 2 times the calorie. Is there evidence that increased saturated fat is linked with heart disease?
Yes, absolutely. There is definite evidence that increased saturated fat is linked with increased heart disease. And in fact, all the health organizations like WHO or AHA, they all recommend reducing your saturated fat intake.